So this is a small video showing how a cartridge manufacturing facility in Darra Adam khel converts cases of 7.62 into 51 a 308 case into a 7.62 25 Tokarov case. So what they do is they recycle these cases. So the first step they do is they'll part the case or cut the case into these cup size. So they've got this small contraption machine that just turns down the cases into these sorts of cups. The next process is of depriming. Now, the 308 cases available are in boxers or burden. So, if it's a boxer cup, uh, initially a case, the simple method is just to punch out the primer using this sort of a punching tool, punching press. But the problem comes when you have a burden primer. And with the burden primer, what they do is they just simply punch out a new hole in it. That deprimes and creates a small hole, just like a flash hole, just like a primer. Now, as you can see, this specific case is a burden primer. It has got two flash holes. So they'll just put it there, and that punching tool will just punch a clean hole into it that will deprime it and will pretty much convert it into a boxer. Not the ideal way of doing it, but we are recycling and try to make really cheap ammunition that people can buy. So the next step is turning of the rim. Now, turning of the rim is important for the next uh, the operations after this, because we don't want that excess material that is going to hamper the drawing process. So it will be turned to a specific diameter that is equal to the uh, draw stroke, the second draw stroke that is required. If that material is there, it's going to be a problem. So you see they've got this machine and they just turn the rim down. The left side one is the turn down and the right side one is the original one. And after that, this is the interesting part. This is a cleaning operation. So they've got these machines that they've made out of recyclable stuff. The interesting thing is the media that they're using. They're using sawdust and brass mixture. So they'll put this sawdust and brass mixture in these drums, or the drums that they've sort of made out of tubes of tires, and they'll just turn it. Now, the interesting part is you can see parts of vehicles being used in this sorts of contraptions. After that, this is the first draw. So what they'll do is they'll just draw the cup. So they'll just reduce the diameter, and by doing so the size would be increased, and from the first draw it goes to the second draw process. In the second draw, they'll further reduce the process. Now, if the rim was there, it would have been a problem. The material would have been flowing, but it has been turned down in the initial second phase, third phase, I guess. So here it is. And after that, the next thing is the tapering of the case and the necking. Unfortunately, the machine which does that on this specific day was under a breakdown, so I couldn't really see how they were doing it. But here at the left side we have a second draw case, and on the right side we have a tapered case. The next thing is they face the base of the cup and to have a perfect flat finish, because the next operation from there you can have to maintain the distance. So facing is important. They will further neck and taper it, and they also reduce excess material. I didn't get to see how exactly was this happening. Should have paid more concentration, but that's how it's done. Perhaps next time I'll go and take a closer look. After that, they adjust the length of the case. So same sort of a small machine, just adjusting the complete length of the case. and then they have to drill out because the diameter of the thickness of the wall is more, and you can't fix a Tokarov round into it, so they'll just drill it out to the right diameter so they can put a 7.62 into 25 projectile in this case. So they've got this fixture, they put the cases in, and they just drill the excess material out. And after that, the next process is primer pocket sizing. The primer pocket diameter has been reduced due to the drawing, so what they'll do is they'll fix this. Now it's creating some burrs and stuff like that. I don't know how they get rid of it, but apparently they do. I didn't get to see how. As you can see, the pocket has been made. After that, they cut the extractor groove. So they have got this machine that is operated, the cutting tool is operated by the leg, and the machine feed speed is operated by the hand. Now the thing is, there are certain other operations that they are not really doing, but you have to see that they aren't very well resourced, and they're trying to just make cheap ammunition. They've got limited resources. The last thing they do is, in Pakistan, most of the Tokarov cases are from the Russians or the Chinese origin, and the Chinese one are, I think, made out of gilding or something like that. So since these are brass cases and people like that different copper color shade, so they just copper plate it for just cosmetic reasons. So with these limited resources, they're doing a very good job, and you can just recycle 7.6 to 51 cases into Tokarov cases and create cheap ammunition. Maybe in the next video I'll just show you how they manufacture the prop and the loading process, and we can maybe shoot it also.